what you want to do. Here come bad news, talking this and that. Well, give me all you got, don't hold it back. Well, I should probably warn you, I'll be just fine. No offense to you, don't waste your time. Here's why. Because I'm happy I'm alone if you feel like a room without a roof. Because I'm happy I'm alone if you feel like happiness is the truth. Because I'm happy I'm alone if you know what happiness is to you. Because I'm happy I'm alone if you feel like that's what you want to do. Bring me down, can't nothing bring me down. Your love is too high. Bring me down, can't nothing bring me down. I said, bring me down, can't nothing bring me down. Your love is too high. Bring me down, can't nothing bring me down. I said, because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like happiness is the truth. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you know what happiness is to you.
My kid's favorite song.
Wait a second, let me get my,
He gave me a receipt from stuff that he bought at Walmart. And then he just asked me to fill out a voucher, which I'm not 100% sure if I'm doing correctly, which is just cleaning fees reimbursement, right?
yeah, but you need to ask Alice about this because she keeps track of everything.
Okay,
So you have to hit a line up
Okay.
here. It's a little complex, so
Okay.
it's not like anybody can do it.
okay, so I'll
And
leave it for her.
If you would leave it for her,
And
that would be
then
good. Was he trying to get it in by tonight?
I think so.
All right. So this is cleaning supplies, so this is gonna be 16/20/24. So I'll just do that. Okay, so 16.
Yeah, I might have done mine wrong to get reimbursed for my,
If you could just make sure that she knows about this tomorrow. I should be in tomorrow, but.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I guess I didn't realize that, I guess I'm not the one to sign for these, you have to
No,
sign?
yeah.
Okay, so I'll just
You can't
read.
approve your own.
I can't approve my own situation, so I'll just refill out the bill or,
No.
oh, that's okay, sorry.
Okay, no problem.
I just wasn't sure.
Yes. No, Heather does that too. She has to, I mean, she's the superintendent, but she spends our money.
Okay,
So if she's spending our money, I have to sign for it.
okay,
So, and it also looks bad for her to approve her own stuff.
yeah.
Now, this has a line in the budget.
Right, and Coretta said that she knew what it was, and she said that, because I called her, she was like, well, I'll look at what Judy used to put it as, I could look at what.
Do you get the, you get the budget, right? Yes. All right, so let me show you something. So here's the budget. Your line is going to be town clerk. Now, these are salaries, right? These are registrar salaries. So I believe we have that as a line. Maybe we don't really solve. Thought it was. Yeah, we have 600 allocated for it.
Dylan, how are ya?
Well,
Yeah, I don't see it here. That's funny. Well, okay. No, it used to be under. Well, maybe what we did, wait, no, register. Oh, statistics, there it is. 800. So it goes in there. So it's 40, 20, 40, 20. Okay, very good. Okay, so, great. So we can put that, yeah, in the red folder. Okay. And this is Bobby Lee. I think I got this out of here. I hope I. Okay, that's yours. This is yours. Yes, yes. Hi,
How are you?
I'm good. You haven't ever been here before.
No.
So, hi.
Hi.
Let me show you where to chair. So, just come up. But you can also sit in one of these chairs too. if you want.
This is cute.
It's, I hate it. I hate it with every bone in my body
Why?
because I want town hall in town.
Yeah.
And they leveled it with the last, they still have one brief pass through to fix things, but it's there.
How long will it take to build that?
Couple of years and they have to raise $2 million.
Oh, detail.
Easy.
Yeah, they found a well underneath one of the buildings,
Oh, yeah, okay,
at least 30-foot well.
okay.
So they put a piece of equipment over it
Mhm,
and want to
Oh,
know what
good.
we want to do with it.
okay.
Yeah.
I mean, we fill it in.
You want to fill it in?
I would think so.
All right.
We should abandon it. I
Okay.
mean, you can't, they're nice to have,
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
but,
I
you
don't,
know,
it's
for our
literally
purpose,
under 12 North Main, the
It's a
back.
dug well, a stone. Okay. In my house, there was just a point, driven in the well, and that
Oh.
was the original water supply.
Oh, no, this is a dug 30-foot.
Mhm.
He said at least 30 feet.
Usually that's exceptionally deep
Yeah,
for this area.
that's what he thought.
Yeah, because, the classic hand pumps didn't pull, they only pulled 32 feet or something like that. And then but they did have the deep well
Yeah.
hand pumps. Interesting that it's under the house.
Yeah, it was
Hmm.
under the add-on apartments
Oh,
in the back.
okay, yeah. What about the septics? What did we do with those? Did
They were pumped out and they found the last one, they found another one. That was
okay,
another question he had. What do you want me to do with it?
Right,
We pumped them out, so
yeah,
I think he just takes it out.
okay. And fills it. in.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of times they just pump them out and then backfills them.
Yeah, we got an agenda.
So
So
that
what's
you
going
didn't-
on here?
Get rid of everything.
I think that's kind of what he's gonna
Thank
do.
you.
yeah.
You're welcome.
Were you open today?
Yeah.
Oh, I saw your flag out and I was like, they
7
can't
days
be
a
open on a
week.
Monday. They
I'm
are.
actually busy on Monday than Sunday.
Isn't that wild?
Yeah. It's
Do you
crazy.
know Alex and Robert?
No, I don't.
They opened Demeter Home in Latham's building.
Oh, okay.
This is
Don Bartles.
Don Bartles,
Okay.
Deputy Superintendent. Supervisor.
Supervisor, superintendent. That's two institutions.
Madeline, I'm the town clerk.
Oh,
okay. Madeline.
4. I'll sit over here while you do it.
Okay,
How many people are coming, sir?
Fair's outside.
who is
Fair.
there? Oh, good.
Susan Lucci, we're waiting for him.
I
I don't know.
Nobody ever gets here early because, except us. We're crazy.
My goodness.
I sit over here, so I'm not. How are you, Vicky? Hello.
Is Warren coming? No, Warren is not coming. This is not a legal. Oh, I don't want to sit over here.
Yeah. Drag that chair over here. You post the next to me, just drag her over here.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, these are butt spreader chairs. I went to, Claire and I went to the Old Dutch Church on Saturday, went to a drag show. Oh my gosh, those chairs were the most uncomfortable thing, but the show was amazing. It's great.
There he is. Hello.
What's it going, Tommy? You? Sorry, well.
Is Matt back from vacation? Are we all, is he gonna walk in and be super tan? We're all gonna be like, get out of here.
His house is all lit up. I don't know.
And they're competing across the street.
It's like blinding to drive through there, isn't it? You're like, I put my sunglasses down.
I love it. It just shows- I love it.
Yeah, we went up to Melissa. Yeah, he's like, I gotta do the meetings. This is the interview.
You may have the comfy chair. Okay, I can get, I can't get like everybody into the shot.
Oh,
But you think the audience is more important than the board?
Nope.
No.
Yeah, me too.
my opinion,
Yes. Yes.
we don't need it.
A black screen, just hear everybody's voice, so like.
Well, if you put everything over, so that this way you can't get the whole board.
No,
You get about this
I
much.
get
of it.
your tummy.
But I mean, if we put it over between Madeline and Vicky, then you get a.
Right now. Righty tighty.
That should be tight, right?
This thing is so old.
Yeah.
It's actually.
Well, maybe not. Oh, yeah, well, that's good.
So,
The voucher for
well, do we want the board or we want
Mr.
the?
Manning's voucher. is
Oh,
on
yeah,
here.
that's-
I would think the board, but that's,
Okay, then I can just put here.
way up in the air.
Well, you better-
She's good.
Okay, there's that, and then
She,
she's
the
getting
thing is
another
that
thing
she's
from
with
Kyle, right? When
the
she
lift
gets
kit,
down to her.
hot show things.
I would assume.
It's her favorite thing. She
okay.
tries it all the time.
That first.
She was like, I'm gonna to work. I'm like, please tell me
So
so.
Other budget line.
Right, so that's about,
Right, you know, when
She's like, I wear for the dome.
so that means, she said to me.
And there's two
close to
chairs.
the end,
Poor baby is so cold.
But not really, because. she's
Well, you- for
included in
you.
That figure that.
Yeah.
That she shouldn't.
I think this is it, except for the board.
Is that right?
Yeah,
You don't have to sit there
you can move
in the
it.
Inquisition spot. right?
And I can't just.
the chair.
I know. I love it.
I got scruffy jacket, so he's very happy with that, even though now it's very warm out.
Track damage. because of the weather and this derailed track. But we made
Okay, I just want everybody to know we are live on YouTube.
it. So we have to behave.
You have to behave, Ann.
Yes, Ann.
Hopefully we'll get the rest of the. We don't have a quorum yet.
okay. Well, the most important people.
I know Matt's coming.
You have a quorum.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Mr.
I thought, oh, there's Rory.
Disney, look how pretty. Oh, my God, Sandy is.
Few days in the sun is all I need. Sorry, Don. We have no Sarah tonight?
I think we do. I don't know. Maybe just wait. We'll wait till we, well, it's 7 o'clock.
What? Right?
No, you didn't say that.
Yeah, I'm getting my Santa pouch out.
We are live. We are
Oh.
recording.
We do have your head.
Nobody will know it's you.
Oh, you see my bald spot at the camera.
No, it looks good.
It's tan, you got it pulled down to something.
Because of that spray can thing. That works really great.
No, we actually were using this, it was a powder-based sunblock. And it worked very good, but it was really nice, you could get it like in your ear, like, it was awesome, it was 50 SPF. Powder? Yeah, powder-based.
Did you get to ride in the monorail in the nose?
We did not go on the monorail because we really had no point, we were in Magic Kingdom the whole day.
Oh, okay.
Epcot the whole day, we weren't.
You know.
I told him,
There we go. Good job.
I told him the secret
The-
to riding the monorail, which is you stand in the front,
we
and then
didn't
when
get
it
there.
rolls in, you go to the conductor and you say, can we ride in the nose? And there's seats in the nose, and you can ride in the nose.
Do they have a mask on?
Oh, I don't know. I haven't been there in
Everywhere
years.
everywhere indoors, yeah, we're not. Yeah, but you went everywhere in there, you were last up. Yeah.
Girls loved it. It's just like all their dreams were really coming true.
Day one, we had so much of a century when we did it. We only lasted a few hours. And it was, yeah, too much. Over the. Yeah. This one though.
Well, I think we should start. Okay. All right, I'd like to call this meeting to order. This is a workshop meeting to talk to the potential beautification committee to upkeep the new town park. And we have a vast array of people here, and it's really great to see. And thank you all for coming. So what we really need to discuss is, I would love to recap how we got here, and I can do that in 2 seconds. And then talk to you about your work, and then what you need and what the town needs to do to help that, and et cetera. So I just want to remind people that the town park was renovated because of a legacy given to us by a man named Edward Kinzer. And I finally found out who he is, or was. It turns out that he had spent his summers here with his family that bought a cottage at the corner of Old Orchard and Lake Road in the 30s. And that his dad had bought it. And he grew up coming here in the summer, and he loved it. And then he acquired it, and his children and his sister's children, he has a niece and a nephew left, and they remember it vividly. And one of the things they liked to do best was go to the town dump, which was at the highway department at the time, and shoot rats. So I thought you'd love that. That's their best memory of Pine Plains, shooting rats at the dump.
We should bring that tradition back.
So, but I did reach the nephew, and they want to come to the dedication. So we're in contact with them whenever we're ready. Also, over the years in that park, there were planted some things and built some things that were dedicated to people. The big tree. Don, you remember the woman who was, the big tree was planted?
Yeah, give me a minute. She had the insurance office.
Marion
Marion Dodge.
Yes. Dodge.
Marion Dodge.
That was not the tree that was dedicated to her. There was a blue spruce that was in there.
That they replaced.
Okay, so all the trees were Marion Dodge, basically.
Yeah.
Apparently, yeah.
Yeah, they had to replace that one. I don't remember exactly why.
Somebody topped it. Somebody took the top off the tree for
Huh.
Christmas one year.
No way. Wow.
Wow,
I hope they.
I'm beginning to remember that.
you blocked it.
Yes, yeah, I did.
They did. They lumped the whole top right off of it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, you know, I think that it would be kind of great to keep remembering all the people that had some kind of thing planted in their memory there. If there's anybody else that you know of,
I don't.
I believe that was the only one.
just Marion Dodge, okay.
Yeah.
So, definitely sort of remember both the Kinzer family and her somehow. So the town board voted to allocate this money that he left the town. It just came out of nowhere. I got a letter saying Ed Kinzer died and he left you $25,274.53. And brought it to the town board and we all decided to renovate the park. And we formed the committee and you guys were on it and we finally got it started and rolling. So Tim Jones, for the most part, donated that fountain, which he built in honor of the farming community. And Sue Robertson has done all the plantings. I believe I keep calling it the gazebo. It's not the gazebo. The pergola was donated also,
Yes, it was.
donated by the
Wow.
Breimer family.
Correct.
And so there have been donations to this that are quite wonderful. And I think that's where we are at the moment, right?
Correct.
Okay,
We can do a little update on that.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I guess we need to say that Vicky chaired this committee and Jane Kelly was also a member and Carl Batten.
right, okay.
Mayor and I and Ann New. And I guess just to follow up a little, we've begun talking about some fundraising for the furniture primarily. And we'll do that in a sort of two-part way. One, will present people with images of the furniture we have in mind and say, for $2,000, you can have this table and put your name on it. Or if you don't want to give that much money, but want to give a little bit of money, that'll be put in the pool. But, you know, the idea is to have furniture that'll be consistent with the design of the park, and that'll be consistent. So we don't have a table that looks like this and a chair that looks like that. And everyone who gives anything will be recognized. And we're thinking of a plaque-like thing that would go on the new town bulletin board. That's the one part of the park that's really still an eyesore, where that old bulletin board is and the electric panel is still out there, but that's yet to be worked with. There'll be a better looking bulletin board, and the hope is that there can be some chairs around it so it'll look like a nice place to gather. And there'll be, in a pretty prominent way, a listing of all the people who've given something over time. I guess the other thing we want to say is that that has been the town park beautification committee. But at the, I guess it was October town board meeting, there was a proposal to set up a permanent town beautification committee that would go beyond the town park to address other beautification, environmental sustainability issues. I use that language deliberately because I think for grants, beauty doesn't get you a lot of money, but environmental sustainability does. So I think it'd be good to put that language in. But that has been the town park committee. In the larger committee, there will also be new projects, but also greater outreach to other groups like the garden club and the community garden people. The renewed energetic business association. Now, I think lots of people should be concerned about how the town works. So the idea would be to kind of reach out to get those folks involved. And I see this very much as a new committee that, you know, certainly the work on the town park
we'll go ahead. But I think it would be great to bring in some new blood and to get out the word that there is this committee and try to recruit some people. And my understanding is that the town board would do that. And then the town board would select members and appoint a chair. Is that, if this is to be your kind of,
Yeah, well, we need people to write in a letter, and I think if we come up with a committee, that you guys should come up with your own chair. I mean, I'm okay with them choosing, right? I mean,
Right, I
I feel
would-
that that's the way it would be. I feel that you guys
Right.
would come up with your own chair.
and in terms of getting new people?
We have one person who's written in,
Okay,
and Ethan DiMaria. And that's the one letter I have so far.
okay.
Do you think we ought to really define, actually sit down and do, define what the committee is,
Yeah.
size wise and numbers? What their mission statement is, so to speak, and, their relationship with the board. Whether there's funding or no funding from the board, or a procedural method of recommending things to the board and things like that. It's a great idea. And when you were talking about environmental issues, sustainability,
Mhm.
our CAC comes to mind.
I wrote that down, right?
Right. It's kind of a little overlap, but
Yeah.
I can understand what you were saying about if you're looking for grants and funding and things like that, those are the buzzwords that we really need. But what would you feel would be a workable committee, say size wise?
Mhm. Well, I guess we talked about it a little in our last meeting, like 8, 9 at the most.
Probably.
You feel 8 or 9,
Yeah.
which is fairly large for,
would
say
what-
7. I think 7 is a good
That's
Yeah.
a good
number.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I saw this meeting as an opportunity to kind of hammer out this. stuff.
Mhm, right, Yeah.
We could do the stagger in terms like we did with the
or,
rective. Well, this way, new people
Yeah.
can come in, like, and if there are people who weren't participating but are just taking up a spot on that committee, it gives a chance for newer people to come in, give fresh ideas, new blood. Because if too many people stay on it for too long, it becomes stagnant, and it becomes pretty much just what that vision is, and it's not taken into account for other
Yes.
people, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's right. And I guess other mechanics, John, I remember at the board meeting, you said to me, I don't remember the dichotomy, but it was, are you this kind of meeting?
I said
Or-
dirty hands or clean hands.
Dirty hands, clean hands. Well, I wasn't sure what that meant.
Are you active? Are you gonna be doing it, or are you just gonna be coming to us with recommendations and say it's gonna cost this much to hire these people to do this? Or are you guys gonna be a volunteer group that we need money, we are gonna do it?
Yeah.
Cut down on the labor costs, and then we're buying plants and stuff like that. We're not paying $30 an hour for 5 people to go and plant shrubs.
Mhm.
Probably more than $30 an hour per person. I don't know how much.
Prevailing wage.
Yeah, I don't know how much
That's-
that actually
that
is.
really
Yeah.
is,
So the
the
dirt-
issue, this is going through my mind, what Vera brought up was the whole idea with, it's awkward working through a government. We have these lots of rules and regulations and minimum wages and insurance requirements and everything else. And bidding processes that, would sometimes get in the way.
Mhm.
But we have already used all those. We've had to use those just on this part.
You did?
Yes,
Okay.
everything we did, we had put out for bid, that needed to be put out for bid.
Mhm.
What was the other thing you said?
Prevailing wage.
Oh, wage, well. We actually, Bear did a ton of work himself, and
Oh, that's,
has done a ton of work
he-
that,
right, that's what I mean is, I don't know
if you
how
let
that.
it go to the point where we will lose the rural feel for this if we go to, I guess, we. I don't know how to put this.
Landscapers become too manicured, losing the world, or no?
Well, no, I
Something
think
like
you're,
that, okay, I don't
yeah,
know.
no, I think you're great, but I just think that we have to keep in mind that we can't lose the focus that this town park was really for that tree. And it was to redo that. Going forward with a lot of other things, we have to keep in mind that this is a very rural town. And yeah, I'm
Yeah,
all for
yeah.
changes, but there are so many things that
Well, that's
that
what I
need
was,
to be done now. So I personally feel it should be more of a hands-on.
should be more of a hand, yeah,
Right,
well,
right.
I like that
No,
idea.
I think.
But I mean, we could also use this, maybe we could use seniors in high school with their community service, like, you know, you guys only,
right,
like a few times a year, you know, they need X amount of hours per quarter and they have to do it. I mean, maybe we can even talk with our local court down here, if kids get, you know, speeding tickets or something like that, and instead of them paying tickets, they pay it back by meeting up with you
community
guys.
service, right?
And,
Help
and
you with the ice rink.
absolutely.
There's ways to go.
I can tell you now, the garden club, we use the FFA, their landscaping group. And Stephanie Rhodes is great. She brings them, the kids come, and actually this year for the window boxes, they did most of the work, which was nice for the garden club. But we've used them, they've come to the Seymour Smith and helped weed. They've gone to, I think they've helped us down at the beach. But that group is very good, and she's more than willing to help.
I mean, they help with the town decorating day alone, you know what I mean? Like,
right.
it's
So, I
those
mean,
guys who do it, me,
they're
well, we
good,
throw out the
you know.
trees. And they do the rest.
Well, I think as far as wages go, most of the stuff would be done by volunteers or by the school.
Right,
And just if there was a project, that might be a little bit more difficult. I don't know what the project would be right now.
what I was saying is that, you know, you have to be careful when you come under the umbrella, because we have like our own purchasing policy that we have to find.
Right.
Now, if we ever get audited, those are the things they look for. Are you following your own rules?
Right.
So, you know, it's just, those things have to be kept in mind. We can't just go out and buy things.
Right.
We have to follow this purchasing procedure in order to get things. And it's, so these are things going through my mind and setting up a committee, and really, what does the committee expect? It's just, this is the nature of this beast, unfortunately. But, you know, I'm really happy to hear that it's, you know, there still is a feeling of the labor, some of the labor will be done with volunteers. I think that's good, and not throwing it all on our own little buildings and grounds department, you know, itself, or asking the highway department to come over and things like that.
But
I would expect some of that to happen.
Right.
But,
Yeah.
you know, but I
I mean-
don't want to set up a committee that's dictating that you've got to do this and you've got to do that.
Right. I agree.
And with no budget set up or no funding established or whatever, especially going into another year
Right.
like this.
no, but it would be nice if at certain times we could ask Bobby if he could help us on a few things, or, you know, he already mows the lawns, he
Mhm.
already does the weed
Right.
whacking, he already does all of that. But if there was something maybe a little extra,
Well, this is what I'm saying, is
Right.
that with the highway department or with Bobby,
and
using
with the
Bobby.
highway
Davis.
department, there might be times when we might
Right.
need them to bring their bulldozer.
But
That-
I would like that, the committee to go through the town board
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
rather
Right.
than
Oh, yeah.
the committee feeling that they could take it
Oh,
upon
no,
themselves
no, no,
no,
no.
to ask or
No.
direct.
Yeah, no, I agree.
And I mean, can I ask about the fountain now? There is still water in it, correct?
Yes, but there is wildlife safe antifreeze in it at the moment, so it will not freeze.
Okay.
It is getting drained in the winter, but in the meantime, it will not
Okay. I just don't want like the pump on year one,
Yeah,
you know what I
it's
mean?
not- It's not going to. It's been treated not to do that.
Oh, okay.
We just have to get the water out of it.
Perfect.
So at this point, what we really need to do then, it seems to me, is set up a way this committee functions.
Mhm.
So 7 people, staggered terms, the way we do staggered terms on all the other committees
Yeah.
is somebody's on for a year, somebody's on for 2 years, and somebody's on for 3 years. And it might be that we have 2 on for a year, 3 on for 2 years, and 3 on.
No, we did
sorry,
2,
1,
2, 2, 1.
Yeah,
So like we did
Two.
1 at 1 year, 2 at 2, 2 at 3, or, and that's how we did it, at least with when we started the rec, and the first year is the
Right.
1 year where like one person's gone. Or, you know, has to re-up.
right,
But it would be a 3-year term normally, right?
yeah,
Yes,
yeah, that's how we usually
But
do it,
staggered to start.
yeah. And I think that's enough because it's a physical committee. I mean, you know, planning board's 5 years, but that's different.
used to be 7.
Well, that's a lot of training though.
Yeah, it is a lot
You
of
know what I
training. It's
mean,
a
so
lot
you
of
wanna
different-
keep those, you want those people to retain those people, you know, like, because they have all of that knowledge instead of the turnover where you don't.
And might not people who want to be on the committee re-up for the committee after?
Yeah, like maybe they're done, like, oh, I tried, really wasn't for me, maybe too much, like, cause you would wanna do like maybe monthly meetings, at least once a quarter, I would say, just to keep everybody active. You know, like, and aware of your meetings, like, as your, as a committee. Yeah, you know what I mean, like, and that's however you guys decide on doing it, like, it might not have to be a monthly meeting, because there might not have to, you know, like, you guys might be able to do it every 2 months to figure out what needs to go on for those next 2 months, and then so on and so forth. But at least as long as you have like something in place, so it's just not winged and you guys never see each other, and then all of a sudden there's a huge pressing issue and you guys haven't seen each other in 4 to 5 months, and
Mhm.
it's, you know, an
I
issue.
actually think to start a monthly,
Yeah,
because you're gonna, I mean, in January, February.
but I also think that that would be once we get the committee together, that you guys decide, you know what I mean, that like I feel that you guys can make that decision yourselves, as well as like voting for your own chair. And then that person, like, if they have an issue, they come to, that the chair comes to us and. go from there.
All right, so monthly meetings, 7 members, 2 1-year appointments, 2 2-year appointments, and 3 3-year appointments. And then emphasis on physical maintenance and decision-making. What else?
How does the committee determine the scope of its work? And is the mission statement informing
This,
always
okay,
the scope
so
of the work?
we could get them to create that,
I think so. It's early task.
and then liaison with the town board.
I will try to be the liaison for this new committee started. I will put in a thing, so I will try to help get this off the ground.
Great.
Is it possible to get the businesses involved also, because it's mostly the business's decision to what's gonna look pretty in front of their store? That's gonna attract people that come to town, because a rural look is not a look that people want to go to a small town from the city to come and see and spend money in a small town.
Well,
We get a totally fine line there where those like, I'm not sure if you're talking about the whiskey barrels, those whiskey barrels have been there forever.
Those are beautiful. I'm just saying the flowers that go in them and what goes in the park.
I mean, if you're willing
Okay, I think
to,
you have to understand that the flowers go in them. Have years started with the business association, which when they became defunct, the garden club took it over. The town agreed to give us X amount of money. We work on that X amount of money.
Yes,
So
but
when you
also,
do 25 barrels, do you realize what the cost
you
of
can
that
also
is?
get those donated by businesses.
So if that's something,
We've done
a
that
business
before.
outreach could be a great idea to add extra
Maybe the
money.
business
for those barrels.
association would like to take them over.
Yeah, if you guys have the new business association that you said is active and thriving, right? Wasn't that what just came out? I thought it came up as active and thriving. But you know, like that would be a good thing for them to start on if, you know, if most of the businesses feel that way. I mean, it would, and we would pool our money, like, we already have a budget for the flowers. Like, you would just be adding on to that. So if you wanted to buy more exotic flowers, I mean, maybe me and my wife could donate some of the, like,
that-
dahlia tubers, and we can put like dahlias in each of those boxes or something like that, and
Right.
you know, like, go from there, because once you get one of those tubers and one of those things, you have 50 for the next year, like, with the way that those things go.
No, it doesn't work like that, because the Christmas trees go in those barrels.
Well, no, you have to dig them up. You have to- Dahlias you dig
Dig
up,
up, I'm well aware of that.
but it might not, we might not get the hard frost by then, is that?
But under scope of work,
I
I
mean,
guess
that's-
that's one of the big things, right, are the barrels.
But I mean,
That's
it's
a
just something
primary
there,
one.
like, where it
That's
just gives a
I mean, I
new,
think the park is.
brighter, more,
Yeah.
you
The
know.
barrels,
Nice
you know,
little
there's gotta
flower.
be some
But
sort of a
then the part
relationship
is how much,
with the garden club
Work
on
is it?
that.
no,
And
well, I
the
know how
library.
much work it is.
For the community
Yeah.
center
Buy
really
them to
is a
plant them.
question.
To take them
And I
out.
really think that the committee
And to
could
water
sit
them.
down and really have a chance to
And if-
define its own
I can
role.
tell you over the years,
With just
there are two
around some of these very
businesses that
basic
water
parameters that
their
we talked
plants.
about.
Those on
Park.
There is
Well,
one.
I think we're talking in terms of the town park
And
and the community center are our two biggest issues. And then the barrels is some coordination with the
So,
garden club,
yeah.
whether they still want to
Oh,
be involved.
the roosters, she
So,
watered her barrel.
And then there's got to be some thinking a little bit about the North Main properties. What we can do in there to make them presentable in the interim.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think that the committee really has to sit and sort of hash out and then come back with, you know, where do they see themselves fitting in? And I think that they have to include the garden club.
Yes.
They have to
I-
include the business association, you know, in all
Which,
these
yes,
thoughts.
which had been mentioned, that
Right,
definitely, because they've been doing it for so long.
right.
But the thing is, then you also, at this point, you would have to come up with a new flower line or a new town beautification line,
Budget line, yeah.
For budget line, yeah.
a budget line.
Oh, right, yes,
Because I think, what is it, 2,000?
but the budget is in place for next year already.
Yeah, I
Right.
realize that. So what,
Well, but depending on what the business association can do with their fundraising, maybe our 2,000 is still good, and the business association could help.
There
but that
are,
also has gone, that $2,000 has also over the years gone for other things, with flowers.
Hmm.
Other than the flowers for the barrels, it's been used on other things.
Mhm.
Do we still have a trees line?
we have a
Yeah.
tree line.
There's a tree.
That's maybe $1,000 on top of the.
It's $1,000 for next year, definitely.
That the committee could be tapping, and that could include shrubs, I would think.
But we also pay for the Christmas trees.
Out of that line?
Yeah,
Yeah.
out of those lines, yeah. I kind of just take whatever's left in those lines to pay for the Christmas tree.
So I think the first year would be kind of feeling our way through and
Yeah, we can
doing the
figure out
best that we
numbers.
can,
Yeah,
and
I mean, generally speaking, we have buildings and grounds money that could also go. Just
Mhm.
be nice to have its own line, but
I guess the committee really needs to figure out what it wants to
Mhm.
do and then you
That
can
would
come
be
up with
great.
a budget to
Exactly.
consider meetings.
And I do think it would be good to have now some representation from these other stakeholders.
Mhm.
And while we're waiting for the business association to become active and thriving, and I don't think I quite used. those
no, I
words.
thought that that's what I heard.
But while we're waiting, I mean, it might make sense for the committee to include now someone like Alex, if you'd be willing. I mean, I think it would be good per person in the business association
Mhm.
to be on it.
what, is
Vicky-
Patricia in it? this
I'm
year?
sorry?
Is Patricia in it?
Patricia Jean,
Yeah,
technically, yeah.
because she was very active the last time, with
Mhm.
different things in
Mhm.
town, so.
But I mean, that's something that the committee itself
Right.
would reach out to them and have them attend the meetings and.
You're talking about the beautification committee, right?
Yes.
Not the, yeah.
Yes. Yeah,
Yeah, all
I mean,
those
I don't think you
groups to get
necessarily need
together.
somebody from like the chair of that committee, just as long as you're in contact with them. And be able to vote, invite them to your meetings and.
Yeah.
Stay on the same page to
Right.
see,
Right.
you know,
What each one wants.
Yeah.
and what are they willing to, you know, like. What are you willing to donate, like, you can't tell me that you want a barrel full of dahlias and give me $5, you know what I mean, like. So.
and also I think there should be someone from the community garden. Um,
On the beautification committee.
yeah, I think so, I mean.
Yeah.
But what
That
do
could be
they,
a
I mean, the community
activity
garden's
at least
here,
for your
it's not really
site, north
around
side of
town though. I mean, aren't they two
Community garden.
separate things? I thought the community garden, is there a community? There's not a committee for the community garden. The community garden is just for people. to
It kind
come.
of is a committee, but
Right.
it's an ad hoc.
Yeah, I was gonna say, the
Yeah.
community garden, I thought was just for people to come and if they don't have a space to grow their own vegetables or flowers, that's what they use.
Well, they can, or what it's
You might
ended
be
up,
better off with the CAC, someone from the CAC come in and join the committee to give you the grant writing.
Well, you have someone on the CAC.
credit.
Yeah, and there's,
Well, you guys haven't met in a year, right?
yeah,
But
I
is
was
there
gonna
still-
say, there's not many of us, so,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not, you're throwing.
Vicky's the chair.
Oh, no,
now.
no, would you like
to
Vicky's in
stay on the
charge.
CAC?
Sure you would.
Yeah. Throwing out the CAC, and I'm thinking, we can't even get water samples at this point, you know, I mean.
Yeah, I mean, I thought I was on it too, but I've not heard anything about the CAC,
It needs to be reorged and needs a
another of us.
chairperson, yeah.
Well, we don't have a chair.
A committee.
Oh, yeah, we do have a chair.
I mean, if you look at the list on the website, the members haven't been on it in like 5 years, so.
Could it be beautification / CAC? Is that crazy?
No,
Crazy
I don't think, yeah, I don't think. we can do that. Right.
Well, can we put it out for the people watching there today that if you're interested in the beautification or the CAC, please write a letter of interest,
Mhm.
because we need people for both.
okay, let's repeat that so people can hear.
Yeah,
If you're interested in the town being on the town beautification committee or the CAC, which is our Conservation Action Advisory Committee.
okay,
And that looks at the environmental impacts of the things the town does and all the cool stuff we could be doing. Now that we are a climate, so climate smart community, clean energy community, which actually opens us up to a ton of grants. We are now, able to get a lot of grant money through that program. And I don't know about park beautification as part of that, but it's worth looking into.
Would it make sense to make the beautification committee a subcommittee of the CAC so they could tap into those grants?
Can you do that?
I don't know. That's why I'm asking Don, no one knows these answers.
What's that? I'm just thinking, I'm thinking it's premature to be
Yeah, but
going that far
Okay,
right
but
now.
Yeah, because I think that the town would be writing the grants because it's a town park. So I think
Yeah.
that's not even a
Or a
worry.
town project.
Yeah,
It would be just a part of
Yeah.
it.
I mean, I'm trying to think of what grants there might be, but
There's local
there's
grants.
just the local small grants, yeah.
Well, I mean, there's local town and Fine Plains grants through the Adams family.
I was about to say, Adams family has those tree and plant.
And it's an
They do
urban,
trees.
an urban beautification or
That's
urban
right.
forestry.
Yeah.
And I think that,
Danny has been very good to the garden club. on
yeah, he
different
has, and
things.
Dan has
Yeah.
spoken, they've been available at other times
Yeah.
when we needed.
Different
something
things.
like
That's
that.
wonderful.
So he would be a person we would have to talk to. They do all their grant giving on,
Memorial Day, isn't it?
December 31st.
no, it's
The Bentley
Well,
Foundation,
Memorial
right?
Day?
Memorial Day.
When they all get
They all get
together.
together Memorial Day and make their decisions on it. So it was time to start to plan a little bit.
okay, let's go back to this thing about putting the word out there. I guess Matt was suggesting that the word be put out for both this beautification committee and the CAC.
Well, we need members of both things, but that,
Okay,
We don't know how to get the word out. You put the word out, you think you put the word out, but then people tell you that they haven't heard of
I
anything.
know.
or
you put it in the
we can
Millerton News,
post
the
it, we can
newsletter, the
let you- you know,
website.
like,
Yeah.
If you have a better way, like, maybe we put it on the one call for the people who signed up for
Oh,
one call.
That
we
would give
could-
people a heart attack.
Well, I mean, at least it would reach people though, you know, I don't know, we try.
Well, there's the Pine Plains Moms and Dads seems to be something that people read.
Well, us as a town board
town
try to
hall,
stay
right?
off of those boards
Okay.
because they become very
Volatile.
aggressive and there's no,
Aggressive.
like, it's not a real conversation, like,
Right.
it's not a platform for us to be communicating with because it quickly escalates. Even if we're talking about town beautification,
Becomes. okay.
something else
But
could come
you
up.
could go on that, on Pine Plains Moms and Dads and link from the town board's webpage that says, we want you on the town beautification committee. I believe you can
Yeah. you
embed a
can.
link in your post there that and exhort the people to come and join.
That or you guys just doing it personally, like,
Right,
we're
right,
trying to
right.
form these commercials, because they're not, like.
Got it.
Not
But there could be a Facebook page for, there is a Facebook page for town hall.
Yes,
That could go there, right?
Yeah.
And
You can put it on the Garden Club Facebook.
that'd be good.
We have a,
Maybe we can get it in the newsletter. Well, so you put all these notifications out in the newsletter, but, so, yeah, we make it as big as you can get it, like,
Right.
yeah, garden
Okay.
club.
I mean, this would be a fun committee to be on. First of all, if you like gardening,
Mhm.
it'd be
There's all
fun,
kinds of fun people in it.
fun people.
Get to hang out with Ant.
Get to hang out with
What are some
them.
other things the committee's helping
There.
to do
Man,
in the
yeah,
next iteration?
Vicky.
You guys
Do
know?
you guys
some-
have any
some
other, like, big
agenda items?
ideas?
Big idea. Um,
'Cause I know the baseball fields, like getting around the baseball fields, there used to be like hostas and plants and stuff like that, but
Right.
that is all kind of
oh,
gone
the
away.
memorial. Nobody has done anything.
Yeah, but I mean, like, those are like real
The garden
focal
club
spots
is
that you
gonna
guys
Take it
can.
over, but we do the two at the beach. We do the one at Seymour Smith, which is huge, the Betty Schroeder garden and, plus the barrels. So,
And the signs, are
and
you
s-
doing the signs?
well,
Oh,
we
yeah.
haven't done them because,
They haven't been done in quite a while, I can think.
no, that's one of the projects that I personally would like to see done.
Hmm.
For the signs. I know at one meeting, Don, when the new signs were put up, you had said you felt that a couple of them should have been moved.
It wasn't
because
me
of
that
the-
said that, somebody else suggested, I think
Sorry.
it might have been the fellow who did the signs.
Anthony, I think Anthony said that. And he did move them,
I
though,
thought
didn't
it-
he? Like,
I
over
thought
there?
he had moved them, I thought they were moved
I
back.
thought because of the plowing.
Yeah, I thought he
snow.
moved them back. I thought he
Oh,
took.
I
it-
I
Yeah,
don't know. I just remember that, hearing that and
I remember hearing it also, but
then the signs
I
went
don't
up and I
remember
didn't
saying
know
that.
if they had been moved, but both planters need, this planter out here needs
Hmm.
to be taken away. And, just the sign put up like at the other end of town. I mean, it's one thing,
That's garden club stuff currently, not for the beautification committee, but. it could
no,
be
that was
well,
something
that's
for the beautification
beautification.
committee.
Okay.
the garden club is having the same issues that a lot of other organizations are having.
nobody it's,
No, we have gotten
You have,
a few new members, which have been great.
but it's all on
Yeah.
a few people,
Mhm.
to keep,
Yeah,
yeah, it's
It
very
is.
dependent on a few people.
that's what I was gonna say, a representative from Garden Club will probably be Kathy.
Yes. I didn't say that.
No, I know you didn't, but,
When she's
well, I
done
was
giving
about to
shots.
volunteer my wife for the garden club.
oh,
Like you guys should maybe try to hit her and Red out. They, they
Yeah,
do
no,
their
I would
flowers
be-
out there and. Why not give back to the town, right?
I'm gonna get mad.
Yeah, and I think I mean, this, I just want to bring up the community garden again, because that's another case where you've got the small hand, very few people who are not young, doing all the work. And I think it would be helpful if there were more. But you know, we put out the word in a couple of ways about that group. One, that whatever's grown there gets donated. Mostly to Willow Roots, but also to the church pantry once a month. And it's mostly been Sandy Towers and Elizabeth White, who, I mean, amazing the amount of time they put into that. And then I work a bit on it, and Lenora Champagne has also worked on it. But clearly there need to be more people. We did go out and say to people, maybe you want to come and just grow vegetables there. And as long as you give a part of what you grow to the community, you can grow your stuff for your family. That hasn't worked.
Yeah.
It just hasn't worked.
I know getting the words out, and it would be nice. A lot of people don't like to volunteer. You know what I mean? Like, so that's what I'm saying, like, that should be its own thing. And the beautification committee, in my eyes, should be two separate things. Because I think that you have two different. This is growing
Yeah.
compared to you're planting and you're going away, and it's more of a downtown.
Yes,
Like
but that
organization.
community garden could be moved to downtown.
Which would be nice.
It could, yeah, where would you like to see it downtown?
Baltimore.
What, yeah,
There's
what is,
gonna be 2 empty fields there for a while.
how long is that?
I'm
gonna
hoping
be?
they're not empty for that long.
Well, it could also be put there when it's, if there's room there, you don't need a lot of room to grow a lot.
Yeah, in the back, yeah,
In
no.
the back. of
You
the-
can go back to the brand, like back
Right.
towards Grand Brush
Right.
there, and like, kind of like what we have here, just to.
So maybe the garden or the community garden
Right.
could broaden its scope and become a community nursery or something too, that could serve the beautification.
I think the community garden and the beautification are two separate things.
Yeah, I don't get that.
Kind of like just.
Yeah. I mean, it seems to
I think
me
it-
But it's adding
Being
more
part
work,
of the beautification
but
committee,
then that's
it
extra
would
work
give
for
it
the beautification committee.
it would give them more focus, it would give them more attraction. People might be more interested in it.
Would it be a
You know-
subcommittee of the beautification committee, but not a co-equal committee? perhaps?
Yeah, no, I got you, like,
Thank you. Yeah, and it's been a real problem having the community garden. I mean, it's wonderful to have it here, but it's also a problem getting there. I mean, there are people who I think if it were in town would go and use it, grow things. But stuck out here is a little bit harder. So I think moving it into town would be great. And I think it would fix at least the
Even if
problem.
we
of
didn't turn it
moving.
into town, I think being part of the committee, there would be more eyes on it. There would be more talk about it. More people might be interested in it.
maybe the beautification committee could do their monthly meeting.
At the garden.
In the community garden. And you guys can talk to the plants, as you're doing it, which is really good for the plants, and we can get everything.
And let's remember who the liaison is going to be.
Oh, no, I got you.
Don't forget to bring the shovels.
All right, so where we are now, it seems to me, is that we need the beautification committee that's possibly still intact here.
Yeah.
To meet
And to start.
with interested new people
Mhm.
and figure out if we have this hierarchy of how it works that we just kind of set up. We can write a resolution pretty quickly to create this, like I think by Thursday. Just a simple 7 members, the breakdown of the years. And then ask for people to contact town hall to be on it.
Mhm.
And then hopefully you original members could kind of spearhead the next step of it. Does that sound okay?
Yeah.
And then come back and figure out like what the next steps are.
I mean, a mission statement would be nice, right?
Mission statement.
Coming up with a chair right away, and then, I mean, your mission statement, that's where you could include the community garden if you wanted to include the community.
Yeah,
garden.
and, but that would
Uh,
happen once they form the committee. I think that,
But
we
we
don't-
need letters first.
yeah, exactly. So we'll get the resolution passed and then get it started
The appointments.
in the appointments, yeah. Does that sound good?
So do you need letters from us that would?
That- if you wanna
were
still be on
interested
it.
in joining
Yeah.
in, we want your letter.
Just email me. Is
I'll even take a hand copy if you want to do a hand copy. I'm okay.
Oh, good, thank you.
there anything else? This is really exciting. I think the park is beautiful and I adore the fountain. I just have to say, I love the fountain. When I saw the cow ear tags things, I lost it. I just love it. And I'm so grateful to all of you for all the hard work. I think it's gorgeous. And I can't wait to see it with the little stone chess table.
I thought it was like teak furniture. I thought you guys were going for like teak furniture.
It's gonna be both.
Yeah.
I don't think you can play chess on teak.
Well, I thought that they were trying to keep the one uniform.
Right.
Look at
The
now.
majority of it is teak, you're right.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
the
I'm okay with the stone chest.
chess table has to be made out of stone as opposed to teak. And we also want to utilize the old stones that were still in there to
Yeah.
create other tables.
Right.
Oh, cool.
So, yeah.
Well, that's neat.
And there will be more plantings too around the pergola.
Yeah.
So that will fill out.
Oh, do you want to talk briefly about the changing the bulletin board? Like, do you want a whole new one built?
Yes,
Yes.
Okay, so that's a whole different thing, so I'm gonna leave that alone and let
Yes,
you guys, okay,
that's separate.
that's not something we have to move right now,
No.
okay,
Mm-mm.
okay,
Is that it?
yeah,
Did you
anything else?
Ask them if they would consider moving it, or just moving it in the park.
Where do
Obviously,
you
you've
want
had a discuss, well, I don't know,
Right.
obviously you've had a discussion with Tara
No.
about moving the
This was, well,
sign.
it,
No.
nobody will see it if we move it right now, anywhere else. Because where we just took the buildings down, for instance, which kind of makes sense for a community, but there's nothing there. So I don't see a
What
reason
about
to
like
take
the
it,
library? Like moving it temporary outside the library until you guys come up with a time.
Well, I think what Vicky's talking about is ultimately not putting it back in the park,
Right.
having it in some other location.
The library.
But we don't have the new town hall. That theoretically is where it should be, it would seem to me.
Yeah, but I mean, for a temporary location till maybe the new town hall is possibly.
I have
built.
2 questions about it, what kind of, like, the shape it's in is a little wonky,
That's in rough shape.
it's in rough shape.
Yeah.
And it kind of looks bad. So that's my first question. And my second one was, I mean, at the library, I don't know where we would put it, where it wouldn't get hit by a car, but there's,
The other part, you don't get, I'm
Yeah.
playing devil's
Yeah.
advocate, you don't get a whole lot of foot
No,
traffic
you
over
don't.
by the library.
you don't,
And I understand when we have the new town hall, there'll probably likely be more foot traffic there. But at the moment, the park seems to be where most people go past it all the time.
Who's responsible for the little sidewalk that goes to the parking area behind your place there? Is that town sidewalk?
That's the
No, right?
town
That's town, yeah.
sidewalks.
That's kind of a nice thoroughfare, but maybe it doesn't work anywhere in there.
Nobody uses them.
No one walks through that thing? Well,
Spread out his window.
Only the tenants who live in across the street go to the parking lot. That's about it. Nobody ever walks through there.
What about like who owns the property right next to the, where Rosie's is gonna be and between that little.
well, that's there, it there owns on the brick, where he's
I own between the
adjacent,
brick building, well,
Yeah.
Jack Banning owns, the
Wow.
brick building owns up to my building. So that walkway between us.
So the-
is
the
part of Jack's.
grassy-
I own the one by the bank.
So the,
That's
the
my
grassy area there where there used to be the seating for the platter,
right,
that's.
That's part of Jack's building.
Maybe we could ask Jack if we could take, like use a corner to put the bolt in there for a little while, because that gets a lot of traffic there.
that does get a
Well,
lot of
at
foot
this
traffic.
point, there's really no sense in moving it.
Yeah,
until-
and also the design, there's that ugly electrical panel and the design called for moving that thing behind The bulletin
That
board.
gets incorporated into the bulletin board so that that disappears altogether.
So kind of that end of the park
Yeah.
isn't gonna be completed for a while.
Yeah, and Alice seemed to feel strongly that that bulletin board could work better than it does. It didn't look so wonky. And if there were more provision for sitting around it, so I think, why make trouble if we've got a solution there?
Is the bulletin board used?
But yeah,
Yeah.
they don't- Alice is out there changing it all the
Right.
time.
I
We're
know
in
it-
there.
for the
Right.
longest time in there, it just had the
Nothing.
old ratty
Right.
stuff in it that it was.
It gets changed frequently
Not
now.
since we've been
Does,
doing
okay,
it,
now
yeah.
who does that?
We're there all the time. Alice.
Alice does it.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
so we
And if somebody wants something in it, they bring it here.
used to
Alice
have
puts
to
it
go
in.
into the bank to get the key to open it
Yeah.
up to do.
Yeah.
No, we
Right.
have it here and she
Yeah.
goes and takes all our crazy posters.
Right. And we were gonna, I said, feels like hours ago now, but I I said that we were gonna use some part of that as the kind of thank you board for people.
Well, the preliminary design for it is a square, relatively square kiosk,
Mhm,
two sides of which are the bulletin board, which would be facing the sidewalk area.
mhm.
As you walk through the park, the place that you would be viewing most would be where the plaque would be for Mr. Kinzer, as well as for anybody who's donating and that kind of stuff. So that would be on one side of it. The part that would be facing Matt Brimer's building
Mm,
would be the electrical closet, because
Mm.
he's gonna pay to move the electric up there.
Yeah.
So that would be all concealed at this point. We won't have that big board with all the meters and everything on it.
when
So
you're
it
done,
incorporates
well,
a number of different elements in the park all within one unit.
I like the idea of finding important information in the park.
Yeah.
I just think it's kind of cool and it's like old fashioned and
Mhm.
Yeah,
feels,
I don't disagree with you.
Yeah.
And there is a huge amount of foot traffic that goes
Yeah,
through there.
yeah.
And more people are more interested now that the fountain is there, the pergola is there. They're all kind of curious as to what's
Yeah.
going on. So,
yeah, I've seen people sitting in there together and
Yeah.
eating lunch and,
Yep.
and they're not me. It's other people. All right. Okay, I think we all have our jobs. Now I'll get the word out.
perfect.
okay, so do we have to do something before Thursday?
Write a letter.
Yeah, just get a hold of anybody you want to work with and
Okay.
tell them
Okay.
to write letters and then we'll pass this resolution.
Should those letters include the length of term that people are interested in or? they
Well,
be all-
no,
I don't think
we randomly assign those.
Okay, then I would like to make a motion that we call this meeting to an end.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you so much
Thank you
for
very
coming.
much.
This is